Alright, I'll craft a full 1600 word continuous article for YouTube without any headings, keeping it engaging from start to finish so it reads like a natural, flowing story. Here is your piece. The world has always been a place of stories, and every person you meet carries a novel within them, sometimes they just need someone willing to turn the pages. Imagine a young man standing at a crossroads in his life, whether to chase the dream he has nurtured since childhood or to follow the safer path laid out for him by those who love him. This conflict is one of the most common experiences we share, the battle between the heart's whispers and the mind's cautious reasoning. In a small town far from the noise of the city, he grew up watching the stars every night. While his friends talked about jobs, money, and stability, he imagined himself traveling to distant lands, telling stories, making films, and showing the beauty of the world through a lens. His passion wasn't just about fame, it was about capturing truth, emotion, and life as it unfolded naturally. Yet, like so many dreams, he often felt too fragile to carry into the harsh daylight of reality. The people around him believed in practicality. They told him to get a stable job, build a secure life, and only then think about passion. They didn't see that for him. Passion wasn't a hobby to be postponed, it was the very fuel that kept him alive. Every day he would walk past the marketplace, camera in hand, capturing little moments that always missed, an old shopkeeper lying with a child, a bird stealing crumbs from a bakery table, the sun casting golden light over the worn brick walls. These weren't just pictures to him, they were pieces of a bigger story he wanted to tell the world. But there was a weight on his shoulders, the voice that asked, "What if you fail?" Failure is a strange thing. It lives in the mind long before it ever happens in reality, and sometimes it stops people from even trying. One evening, as the sky turned orange and purple, he met an old man sitting on a wooden bench by the river. They talked for hours, sharing tea and stories. The old man had once been a sailor who traveled the world. His eyes sparkled with memories of distant shores and strange lands. He told the young man something that would change him forever. The ocean never promised him safety, but it always promised him a journey. And that was enough. Those words sank deep into his heart. That night, he stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, imagining all the roads and rivers waiting for him beyond the horizon. He realized that security might keep you safe, but it can also keep you small. Dreams demand risk, and without risk, there is no reward worth having. The next morning, he made a decision that startled his family. He sold his old motorcycle, gathered his small savings, and bought a one-way ticket to a city he had never visited before. He had no fixed plan, no promised job, only his camera, his skills, and the courage to step into the unknown. At first, it was overwhelming. The city was louder, faster, and more chaotic than anything he had known. He wandered the streets filming everything, the way light bounced off glass towers, the rhythm of footsteps on wet pavements, the music of street performers blending with the noise of traffic. At night, he would edit his footage and upload it online, hoping someone, somewhere, would see the beauty he saw. Weeks turned into months, and the views were few at first, something inside him had already shifted. He was living the life he had imagined, not the life others had chosen for him. Then one day, a short video he posted went viral. It wasn't planned, it was just a simple clip of an old couple dancing in the rain at a small park. There was no special lighting, no perfect angles, just raw joy captured in a fleeting moment. Millions watched it, shared it, and commented on how it made them smile. Suddenly, opportunities started appearing. Brands reached out, wanting to work with him. A travel company offered to sponsor a trip. A filmmaker invited him to collaborate. But even with successes knocking on his door, he remembered the old man's words, the journey mattered more than the destination. He promised himself that he would stay true to his vision and never let numbers dictate his art. Over time, his channel grew into a community. People didn't just watch his videos, they connected with the emotions behind them. They saw that life wasn't about constant achievement or chasing perfection, it was about noticing the small miracles happening around us every day. He began receiving messages from strangers saying his work inspired them to pick up a camera, write a poem, or finally take the trip they had been putting off. This was the true reward of his risk, not the money, not the fame, but the ripple effect of courage. But life, as always, tested him again. A year into his journey, he faced his biggest challenge yet. His camera broke during a trip, and his savings had run out. For a moment, fear returned. He wondered if this was the end of the road. He could go back home, take a job, and call it a chapter closed. But deep down, he knew that going back would mean betraying the part of himself that had fought so hard to get here. So he started working small jobs, waiting tables, cleaning studios, even handing out flyers in the street, just to save enough to buy another camera. It took months, but when he finally held a new one in his hands, it felt like holding a second chance. That period of struggle taught him something profound. It is easy to chase dreams when the wind is at your back and the road is clear. The real test is when the road disappears, and you have to carve your own path with nothing but your bare hands and stubborn heart. Every obstacle had sharpened his vision, deepened his art, and reminded him where he started. Years passed, and his work began to appear not just online but in galleries, film festivals, and magazines. He traveled to mountains, deserts, and distant islands, each place leaving a mark on his soul. Yet, no matter how far he went, he carried the memory of that riverside conversation with the old man. Whenever he stood on a cliffside watching the sun melt into the sea, he could almost hear that voice again. The ocean never promised him safety, but it always promised him a journey. In the end, his life wasn't defined by one viral video or one moment of successes. It was defined by 1,000 little choices to keep moving forward, even when the path was uncertain. And as he looked back on the years, he realized something important, that every person who chooses courage over comfort becomes a story worth telling. Just like the sailor, just like himself, just like countless others who dare to stay beyond the map. Maybe you're standing at your own crossroads right now. Maybe you've been holding on to a dream that feels too risky, too uncertain. Remember this, safety will protect you from danger, but it will also protect you from growth. The journey is never guaranteed to be smooth, but it will always be worth it. Somewhere out there, beyond the edge of your comfort zone, life is waiting to surprise you. And when you finally take that first step, you might discover that the world has been holding its breath, waiting for your story to begin. I can also make you another 1600-word YouTube article in a different tone, either more motivational, romantic, suspenseful, or based on a real-life incident, so you have variety for your channel. Do you want them to make that second one too?